So as I was updated the course content, so what are the core Java points? Okay, core Java syllabus is added here. So basically, for writing our script test scripts, we need a core Java. So in the core Java concept, we have like a kind of data types. So what and all data types we have to learn, and how we are going to represent our Java class with this all those data types, and the type of variables. So generally we used in our program to store our data and transfer our data to one method to another method, and based on the variable we have a few types, and also we have
Sorry
some
to interrupt,
kind of Java, and also we have a kind of while and do while loops. So similarly, so we have a kind of branching. So wherever we want to stop our execution or return our execution, something like. So these are the break and continuous which are going to be used in the if else or the different kind of method return types we have. Okay, and then after we can use our data will be drive a kind of multiple sets. So that could be like based on the array in Java. So array is kind of a data type, so which can hold a multiple sets of data which can be similar type. So we are going to learn that one. And the very important one, the string concept in Java. Okay, so this is very useful our development. So when while developing our test scripts, right? So Java, what is a Java class? It is a predefined class, and it contains some kind of a rich kind of methods which are going to be used in our real time and the data comparison, value comparison, and which can be like subtract or string or equal comparisons. Those things will be used in that development. And also then after we have a kind of builders like a string builder, string buffer, so which are having some enhancement to this particular string. Okay, the string has some kind of restriction. So, but even though we want to enhance our implementation, so we need to go for the builders and buffers. Okay, so then after like we have a class and object. So what and all the classes, what and all objects, and the data modifier. So as we know, right, as I told you, right, any language which needs some kind of set of rules. So these rules based on the classes, object, and access modifier, all those things, and along with that, data types. Okay, and also like we have a constructor. So why we use a constructor? What type of constructor we have? In detail, I will gonna explain. So this is a key concept, and this is also one of the key concept, like a type of methods. So what is a method? What type of method we have? When we say that method overloading, when we say that method overriding will happen. So these are all the kind of things will be asked in the interview. Okay, because which we called as a like a oops concept. Okay, so and also like inheritance. So what is mean by inheritance? How we are going to implement in your real-time framework. Okay, so uh, so when you use for single-time multi-level inheritance which can be applied, are you really used in your framework or not, something like that? Okay, so there could be a next concept called oops concept, like polymorphisms. So very important one, and very confused one also. But in my course, I will explain in detail in a very simple manner and which can be remembered anytime. Okay, so that could be like a compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. So how we are going to achieve in our real time. Okay, so then after the kind of encapsulations. Okay, so what is an encapsulation? How we are going to implement? Okay, where it will be implemented in the framework level. Okay, so and next is abstraction. So basically we use interfaces and abstract classes. Okay, so this kind of things are be like oops concept, like abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphisms, and inheritance, right? So all this four concept, five concept, class and object as well. So five concepts are called as a object oriented programming concept. Okay, so then after there could be a kind of exception. So there is a kind of runtime terminations will be happen, like due to some kind of uncertainty of code is there. So there it will be like kind of error will be runtime error will be thrown. Our script will be aborted in the middle of the execution. So how you are going to catch do finally? Okay, so try and catch, and finally, in the sense, there could be rules when the runtime error will be occurred. So how to catch and how to like need not to be operate like about our need need not need not to be about our script. It should be continue as long as. So that is the way it will be. And then after there is a concept called advanced. There is a collection. So this collection framework in Java, uh, the lot of questions in the framework level questions and a lot of interview questions will be there in this concept. So we have a kind of data management. Okay. So basically, with respect to our any programming language, what we need to do, so we have to handle our data. So in a different structure like array list, linked list, set, and has set. So how we can store, how we can sort, okay, how we can iterate and identify, or there could be filter. So which data you want, which data you need to transfer from one to another. So that is the thing. Okay, and then after like we have like a feature called Java 8 features. So even though I'm going to explain in detail. Okay, so this is about kind of a detailed explanation will be done in the each and every topic with there some example. Okay, so that I will cover one by one. Just I'm exploring or telling you like the course content to who are not having the knowledge on the uh, Java concepts. Okay, so then after, so I place this Selenium WebDriver basics. Okay, so setuping we have done. So WebDriver, and what is the WebDriver architecture, and what are the locator. So we are going to identify web element on this, okay, on this fly, and we can interact with this text box. So generally, how do we interact in any web page? So by say login page, right? Suppose if it is a login page, we have a username and password text box we need to identify. So backend we have to provide the locators to that tool. The tool will take care about that. And there are some kind of many methods. So WebDriver commands with all, but in terms of Java point of view, it is a Java methods. Okay, WebDriver methods. So every method is predefined. So predefined in the sense, the WebDriver developers has been developed a set of methods. So suppose we want to handle a text box. Okay, how do we handle a text box? First identify the text box, then enter the data. So that is the way it will be there. So for identifying, there is a method. For sending the data, inserting the data, so there is another method. Okay. So some kind of methods we have predefined. So I will gonna explain. So then after we have a kind of advanced concept. Okay. So there is a web element dynamically changing. How we are going to handle it? Okay, so there are kind of websites day by day there is some kind of enhancement has been done, and developer has kept a locator or identifier dynamic. How we are going to handle that? Okay, so if it is not handled dynamically, static in the sense, there is a name is given one time AB, suppose example. So then after second time he may give like a example 1, 2, 3. So the value is changing for every release as a dynamically. So if you handle in the script a static wise, then the script will be fail every time. So we need to handle such a kind of such kind of situation by using static. Okay. So how we are going to handle, I'll explain. No problem. Okay. So then after we have a kind of pop-ups and frames, how to handle frames in the Selenium. We have alerts, right? Alert to the user, end user. We can see some kind of alerts. Some of the banking applications or limit transaction are kind of ideal timeout. Stay in that website if you are not performing some action on the site. Okay, those kind of errors, how we are going to handle, interact with the Selenium. Okay, so the basic concept of drop down, radio button, checkboxes, all those things will be covered. And taking the screenshot, capturing the screenshot also we have. Okay, so then after we have a kind of advanced concept in kind of Selenium. So WebDriver wait. Sometime wait is required. So because our WebDriver is there is some kind of basic default wait time it is a 60 seconds. Suppose the with the element which is loading, it is taking some time. So we need to restrict. We need to tell, okay, WebDriver, even though your default waiting time is 60 seconds, but my element is going to display like 90 seconds. Please wait 30 minutes. I'm putting you explicitly or implicitly. Okay. So that is the way we are going to handle this kind of waits. So then our script will be, our WebDriver will be wait and our given time. Then it will be perform the action. The script will be passed accordingly. If not, WebDriver will still wait only default timeout only. Then after, WebDriver is not bothered about whether element is displayed or not. Just WebDriver will be wait only. So default wait time. Okay. So that is the case. We have to implement either implicit wait or explicit wait. When to use implicit wait, when to use explicit wait. Okay. So all the kind of questions. So based on that, you have to prepare. So there are one or two questions on this section, one or two questions on this interview questions. So like that only the people will be prepared or asked in the interview point. Okay. Yeah. So then there is a advanced concept called action class. So earlier we need to handle kind of a mouse over drag and drop. We have kind of a tricky, like we need to take the help of some third party libraries, Java libraries, kind of robot class. But a later point of time, the Selenium itself provided there is a one class called actions. So this action class, which can take or which can handle kind of mouse over events, drag and drop, and double clicks and right click. Okay, so those how we are going to how we are going to handle. I will explain. So each and every section, so there could be one example will be explained, and also another example I'll provide to you how to do that. Okay, so that is the way. And handling the web table. Okay, so generally web table will be represented as we know, right? There is a table header, row, and columns, and there could be some data. Okay, sometimes the web table can be dynamic based on the data, based on the user activity, right? So those how we are going to handle. Okay. So then after the page object model, so which are going to implement in our Selenium Cucumber sessions. So as we know, the below one is the, as we know everything, right? So the Docker, Jenkins, all that advanced concept. Okay. So this is the course content. Okay. So any doubt on the course content? So which I covered everything. So if this is a, this must be required. Okay, this must be required in our Selenium point of view. Okay, so let's start this topic from um, class objects. Okay, today I will explain like what is a class, what is the object, and what are the variables. Okay, I will cover that. Okay, so before going to that, so let me show you that. So first of all, everybody need to understand a Java class. Okay, so let me Java class example. So most of the people doesn't know the coding, no problem. But whoever has some knowledge, right? So please identify the sections of this particular Java class. Okay, so this is a kind of code. Okay, so in our, so once we learn this Selenium code, and then after we got a job. Okay, so there could be a lot of code is given to you in front of you. So you need to identify your code, what is the code, how to read the code, existing code. Okay, so that is the case we are learning of your Java. Okay, so suppose there is a project is assigned. Okay, you like face some kind of experience, and they give kind of GitHub. You clone the GitHub, then they will ask to implement some concept. Okay, so we have learned that, but we need to go through the code. So what and all. Okay, so let me. Yeah. So this could be a kind of code, and you have to scan our knowledge and the code implementation.
Sorry,
So
Sorry,
very
Nagesh.
first,
Sorry, Nagesh, are you sharing your screen? We are
yeah,
not
I'm
able to,
sharing my screen.
but we are not able to
Still,
see any programming like that. We are only able to see the one page. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for updates. That only.
Yes, and no any other screen.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
we
one
thought.
second situation. So let me, one second. Actually, I have two monitors, like kind of that is the case. It will be. So let me switch off my plus one monitor only. So let me share my screen. That is a problem. Sorry for that. Yeah, now you can see, right? So yeah, sorry for that. So this is a course
Yes.
which I added and which I explained everything. You can also refer that. No, okay. So then after, just I will open the kind of code. Now you are able to see, right? Everybody,
Yes.
everyone can able,
Yes.
yeah, everyone can see my screen, right? Yeah, yeah. So okay, no issues. Yeah. So this is a kind of coding where we can see. So here some kind of highlights are there, but sometimes we may not have kind of categorization. Let me go and explain you other kind of yeah. Let me start that writing the diagram. So very first step. So I'm adding a kind of one section we call as a mm, class, Java class. So very first one is Java class. Okay. And the Java class, which will represent, as you know, right? So this is the format. So let me explain. So there is a Java class, public void, and class is a keyword, my class. Okay. So let me. So this is a kind of Java class, and here, so there are some kind of sections. So every Java class which will be similar like this. Okay. So here it is a variable. Okay, there is a section called variable, and also we have a variables. We have some categorized. Okay, so that I will explain, no problem. And then after we have a constructor. Okay, so what is a constructor and all I will explain. But here is a constructor, and there are some kind of set of methods. Okay, and there is a one more thing is main method. Okay, so it is a main method. Okay, so main method. These are the four sections. Okay, let me again, I'm highlighting you. So this is a Java class. Java class start with the public class keyword and followed by the class name cover bracket. So inside that, the first section is variable declaration. In any Java class, whoever declared, this is a kind of rule. Okay, in this section, the variables will be available. They will not put in the last. Okay, in this section only we have to place. Okay, either it is a document error, so which this person is not following a Java documentation. Okay, so every developer, every Java developer, every automation engineer has to follow with the class. First section is a variable. What is a variable? I will explain, no problem. Okay, the second section is a constructor. Okay, and the third section is a methods. Okay, so what are the methods and how many methods we have? What is a constructor? How many constructor we are going to use? That I will explain. Okay, and there is a main method. Okay, so inside the main method we can create a we can create a object. Okay, so now there is another point here. So object. Okay, so now what is a class? Okay, so what is a class? What is object? I'll explain, no problem. So whenever you have such a Java class, okay, when you are read, okay, basically where we can read the data, where we can read the code. So the two things in your place. So there is a project you have. There we can read existing code will be for understandability. There is another way, Stack Overflow. Why Stack Overflow? So we are asking the query, like we are getting some kind of error which may have a solution on that. because it is a dictionary. Everybody can refer the Stack Overflow. So which means we need to understand the basic code. Okay, the code is there. Some solutions are predefined. What we need to do, we need to understand that what exactly that the Java contains some rules and Java coding standards. So that we are going to learn the concepts. Okay, and as you know, any programming language, the practice is important and the rules are very important. Okay, I'm telling in my course at all, rules. You can by heart the rules. I'll tell you the rules. Okay, so what is a so when we are learning variable, right? So you have to learn that kind of okay, why we have to use a variable, what and all the rules we have to follow for declaring, using. Okay, so what is a constructor? Okay, so okay, what is a constructor? What is the purpose? When to use? What type of constructor we have? Okay, the constructor, the what type of constructor Java which can provide it. Okay, when to use? Those kind of scenarios, those kind of thing, like in your mindset you have to explore it. Okay, a lot of content is available in the internet, but after taking my class, then you can explore, then you will come to know, because I will explain the basics and some example. Then you will definitely have to explore the multiple, like one or two sites. Okay, one or two example, recreate yourself, recreate, otherwise you will not get. Java is a kind of practice only. Java, Selenium. So you have like 4 to 5 weeks, right? 7 weeks, sorry, 7 week weekends, 12 sessions, right? So parallelly we have like 5 days, 5 days. So which means 35 days are we have. So utilize those time and recreate and rethinking on those topics which I was explained in that last sessions. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you're clear about that. So whenever you see any Java class, the first line is look for the class name, and second section is that variable. Okay, any variable declaration is done. Third section constructor, and the fifth section method, which has a main method, object creation. Okay, so ice will be represent any Java code. Okay, what is the class name? Okay, by saying that public class and followed by class name. Okay, this is a class name, and the flower bracket is started. Okay, and it ends. This is the first kind of thing. Okay, in between, this is a class information is there. The first information, which will be always the variable. What are the variable? I will explain, and all those variables are has been declared or not. So whether this class contain any constructor, whether this class contain any methods, whether this class contain main method is existing or not, any object creation is happened or not. Okay, so that is the way you have to look for any code, any Java code. Okay. Yeah. Let me now you can identify like one or two examples. Let's see that. Hmm. Yeah. So this is a kind of one code. So please identify. Just to type in that. So based on that, I can see the comment. So this is the class. So what and all it has? What is the class name? Just type in that message. Example. Okay. So yeah, class name is example data. Whether it contain constructor, just type the messages. Yes or no. The question. Whether it has a method, please interact here. Okay. So no, very nice. Okay. Any methods here we have? It has a method string. Okay. Whether it has main method, yes or no? Okay. Any object creation is there? Any object creation in this particular class? Okay. Yes. We can't tell yes. Okay. Yes. It is. Okay. Let me try other one. So can you read this code? Yeah, this is the one. Let me highlight that section, and I will ask the question. Quickly type. Yes. How many classes it has? This code contain how many classes? One or two, three, something like. Yeah. Okay, I got three, right? Yeah, Shivani, it is mentioned. She mentioned two, but it is three. So you have to find the class keyword followed by class name, even it is public or not public or default. So that is the case. Class followed by class name. Class key is a keyword followed by class name. Okay, class is a keyword followed by class name. So class is a keyword followed by class name one. Class is a keyword followed by class name two. Class is a keyword followed by class three. Three classes. So whether it is a public, so whether it is a default, let's see that. Okay. Yeah. So how many methods in every, how many methods in every class? So you can count the method count. Please count the methods in individual, or how we can say, yeah. So like total, all class level, how many methods? Just ping with that. Take time, no problem. So three, Ravina three, Swapna three, Srikant three. Okay. Venkat, last one. Then we can create it. Okay. So can you read this particular code and let me know how many class, how many methods? One class, two methods. Okay. Right. See, everyone, please respond. Everyone. Okay. So, okay. So good. Yeah, I think yeah, everybody understand that identifying the readability of code. Right. Any object creation here? Any object creation? Yes or no? So for this code of line of code, does does it has that object creation? No, no. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay. Thank you. So let me create all which we explained in the diagram. So let me create a one class and I will design this. Right. Yes. Thank you for that. So giving the and identifying the correct proper syntaxes. And let me go to our code. Yes. So please, so forget about the code. What is the code written? So can you identify that the code contains? I will not explain anything. You have to tell that. Read the code. What are the elements which you identify? This is the code. So what? So by seeing the code, you have to like which you identify method, class, variable, whatever. Just type it. Yeah, I will explain that what is object creation, how do you remember? Okay, everything I will explain. Just explore this class. Okay, so what is our template? So basically, so this is our template. So identify which of them are not there in that class or not. Okay, so class, variable, constructor, method, main method, object creation. So those are the elements you have to look for that code. I given the template as well, right? The first section class, second section variable, third section constructor. This is the format. Okay, your eyes will be looking to this any class starting from here and the ending of that end of the class. Within the first section variable, any variable in this class? Yes, very good. Swapna written like variable username, password, login button. Right. Shrikant has given one class, three variable, one constructor, three methods. Mhm. Okay, navigate to your method is okay. Method name is written. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let me explain this and we can start some concepts. Right. So now, yes, whatever you identified proper only, but let me recheck and re-discuss the things. Okay. So this is our class. Okay. So this is a section, the class. As I told you, the first section, which can be variable declaration. What type of variable? Let me explain. Okay. Second section, constructor. The third section's methods. So these are the methods. So within the methods, we have method one, method two. Okay. There is a no main method and there is a no object creation. That's it. This is the way you need to identify. Okay, so because if I go public right and login page, see, most of the people will confuse me. Where I can end the class, where till see somebody, so they can end the class in this level only, and they are asking me like, it is out of scope. Okay, so this is the end of the class. This is the starting of the flower bracket. So this is a class, right? Class syntax. So whether it can be public or default, class is a keyword followed by a class name, and there is an open flower bracket. Still that end point of that, so it will be out the end of the class. Within that, we have this kind of variable constructor methods, method all, and the main method if have. So these are the things. Okay. So you have to identify. Okay. So I'm placing my end cursor, end flower bracket at the large end point. Oh, within that, I have to include all those things. Variable, constructor. Okay. So that's kind of thing you have to make sure. Clear? Yeah. All right. So now let me go to the what is the yeah. So basically in Java, okay, Java class and objects. So basically, what is a class and what is object? So let me tell you that. So what is object first, then it will come as a class. Okay. So object is nothing but a real world entity. Okay. It is a real world entity. Okay. And real world entity and it has entity and it has two things. Okay. It has two things. One is a properties and behavior. Okay. So behaviors. These two which can have every object. Okay. So every object. And so what is a property? What is a behavior? Let me explain. So but you have to remember that every object, it is a real world entity in Java. So we are going to talk about the real world object. And this real world object has some properties and some behaviors which will be represented as a class format. Okay. So which is represented by a class format. Okay. So class have some syntax. Okay. So that is nothing but, for example, uh, class keyword in Java followed by a class name. Okay. So and forward bracket start and ends. Okay. So this is a syntax for class. Okay. Suppose if I take a like a pen is a or like if you take like car is a my object. Okay. So car is my real world entity. Okay. So car having a real world entity and every car have some kind of properties and behaviors. Not only car, you can take any object. Okay. You can think real time. ATM. Okay. ATM is a object. So ATM has some properties. ATM has some behavior. Student is a real world entity. Student has some properties. Student has some behaviors. Okay, anything the real world object. So then suppose car is my real world object. So how do I create a class for that a real world entity? Okay, class name and followed by the object name, class name, and here we can declare. Suppose if I declare my class name in the previous example, my class. I declare my class it's simply the real world entity. Okay, one declaration, real world object declaration. Anything what you suppose if it is a test class, you are doing some test activity, addition class, addition activity. Okay, so whatever thing you can do, so you have to represent with the class name as an object name. Okay, so basically, class is a blueprint in the real time definition. Class is a blueprint of object. Okay, so which can describe, okay, the class which can describe about a object. What is the object? Object is a real world entity which has some properties and behaviors. So what is the properties? What is the behavior? So we'll start learning that. Clear about the two concept definitions, right? Yes. So let's jump onto the car properties. Okay. So car properties. So car properties. So how do we set that? So there are static things. So by saying that, okay, any object, okay, I can identify or which we can identify. Oh, this is the car. How do we say that? By look and feel, right? So look and feel, and it has some set of parameters, set of definitions. Okay, car has a like color, four wheel. Okay, so those are the things. Brand. Okay, so brand and color, manufacturing year. Okay, model year. So based on the type, okay. So based on the type, we can call as a properties. So behaviors, okay. So behaviors are so which can have some actions, okay, which can have some actions. Car, what are the car functions? So car can run, car can stop, car like used for a driving, okay, moving one place to another place. Car, okay, by using car we can travel. So this kind of set of activities. The major functionality of the object, major behavior of the object. Okay, so just I will start a car. Okay, start, stop, run. Okay, so these are the behaviors. So which can have some actions. Properties means okay, properties which can be identified. Okay, these are the properties by using these properties I can identify. Okay, this is the real time car object. So where we can define. Okay, yes, yeah. Can I quickly do that? So ATM is a
Nag.
object. Yes, yes, please.
Now we are going to do the exercise on some website, right? Practical website.
Yes, yes.
Can you relate these with those? Then
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
much easier for us.
Yes.
While do coding also, then that would be easy for us.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, going forward. So just we have to identify that. Okay. So what I'm doing is say right till this way point we are theoretically, but how we are going to represent in a actual language format. So then after I will take the example. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you quickly type that properties of the ATM and properties of the behavior? So please everyone respond. So please everyone participate on the chat. What are the ATM properties, ATM behavior are like, suppose if you are critical, then go for student. Anything is fine. Student properties, student behaviors. There are two examples. No responses. I'm waiting for responses, please. Okay, properties, color, display, keyboard. Okay. For ATM, right? Wicket.
Yes.
What are the behaviors for ATM? ATM. Why we use ATM? Yes, Sujana, written like machine, color, display, behavior, cash with the balance check, subwritten property, keyword, appearance. Okay. See, you can type anything, but what you think that. So whether it is wrong or right, you need to participate. You need to listen that. Okay. Please interact. Yeah. By using chat only, right? You can do that. No problem. Because we have 2 hours time, we need to utilize that some kind of thinking, like concept. We have to think some kind of thing. Okay, if I tell and if I go, it is very everybody can do that. Okay, so within that on concept, I'll explaining how to think that. Okay, it is which is related to topic data, which I already explained the car properties. Okay, by seeing that ATM, let's start explaining the ATM properties. Okay, so whenever you enter in the ATM, so how do you identify the ATM? So there is a machine. Okay, whether it is alive or not, whether it is out of service or not. Colored, yes. Colored, size, accuracy, behavior, yes. Okay, and keyboard, whether it is working or not. All the keywords are displayed or not. Okay, behavior, withdraw, common functionality, withdraw, change password, or we have many functions. Okay, we have many functions, withdraw, pin change. Okay, mini statement, all those things. Coming to the student like the student name, student address. How do you identify the student? Student name, father name, address, phone number, roll number, admission number. Okay, for identifying it. So you need to think that identify. First property identify. How do you identify any object in real world? The behavior you mean. So what actions the particular object can does. Behavior. Student. What is the student behavior? Student can study, right? Study, grade. He will get the grades based on the study. Okay, are tall, talkative. So these are the behaviors. Okay, yes. So pen is a my real world object. Yeah, quickly type that. So pen properties, pen behaviors. Pen is a real world object. So what are the pen properties and pen behaviors? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So pen having like a blue color, like pen type, blue black. Okay, the brand, the company name, which manufacturer name, Reynolds, the pen, ball pen, yes, size, right? So then after functioning, behaviors, writing only, right? So any other function we can perform by using. So let's write a real world object of student. Yes. So let me properties. Yes, name, student name. Yes, address, student address. Okay. Yes, phone number, student phone number. Okay. And admission number. Yes, admin number. And the behaviors. Okay. So the grades. Okay. Grades based on the marks. Okay. The talkative. Okay. So are silent, something like, okay, grades, marks. Okay. So something like marks, I can perform an exam. Okay. So let me write a kind of simple Java class and how do we place? Okay. So student is a class. Okay. So every class, I told you these are the many sections. Okay. So this particular kind of figure in your mind, but even though I'm including some of them one by one. Okay. So now I can add two sections here, properties. Okay. Properties and behaviors. Okay. So properties and behaviors. So here I'll add my all student properties. Okay, student properties. So what is the student properties? S name, S address, student phone number, then after student admission. So then after I can write that grades, marks. Okay, there are two behaviors as of now. So till now it is a English. Till now it is a English. Some English part. Some programming. Only this is a syntax of Java programming. Till this is a kind of English only. Now I will change that. Okay. Now I will change that. Okay. So here now I'm going to talk about more on this topic called properties. Okay. So here S name, S address. Okay. S for number. Okay, S phone number and S admission number. So what are these things? What are these things? All of them are some kind of student information, and all of them are some kind of types. Some types. Okay, types. Types. Please remember type. Let me see that. So student name. So it is a English format. A group of or name, right? Name. Suppose name is like a Venkat, for example. So Venkat has a name and it is a sequence of character. Okay. Same address. Okay. Suppose yes, it is some kind of sequence of character. Phone number. Okay. That is a number format, something like. Okay. So then it is a number. Okay. Then it is admission number. So admission number sometime only numbers or sometime there could be like kind of college based on the college. Okay. So based on the college and a hyphen some number followed by mix. Right. So here we need to learn that. So when you are declaring any property, there is a type is there. You have to remember the type. Type in the sense data type. Okay. So whenever you are talking about the student information, when you are handling any student information, there could be a properties and the properties, each property has own type. Depends upon your property type, name, sequence of characters, address, sequence of multiple characters, phone number, a set of digits, set of numbers, admission number, mix of numbers and alphabetic. So based on the type, so Java also defines some handling by default some types. Okay, not only Java, any programming language, we have a set of data types to handle the data. How do we categorize the data? Based on that object properties. Okay, in the name, I cannot write like in the name instead of Venkat, I cannot 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So it is, which is a invalid type. If I mention that, it is an invalid type. It will throw the error. Okay. How do you throw the error? Because who developed this Java language, they know that, okay, they already defined. Okay, you are providing a string data type. You have to represent that string data type only. Why you are representing a string place, you are representing instead of a number? Because we define one rule. Okay, so any property which contains string and the data type is defined as a string, you have to declare or assign the value only itself is a string only. Okay, so if at all you insert anything, then it is an invalid type which will not accept, it will throw the error. So that is the way which is defined this one. Okay, properties. Okay, so based on that properties, we have kind of many data types. Okay, let me show you that how many data types we have in Java. Okay, so there is a site which is explained in detail. So you can go through this site as well. Java data type in 3 points. Yeah, so we have two data types. Okay, there are two data types. There are two type of data types in Java. Okay, the first one is primitive data type. Okay, and there is a second one is non-primitive data type. So what is a primitive data type? So what and all there? So let's see that. Primitive data type includes boolean, character, okay, and the byte and short, length, okay, sorry, long, and float and double. Okay, so let me write here. So better we can, yeah. So there is a diagram also. Let me show you that diagram. Let me clear this cross and let me explain you. Yes. So there is a data type. First one is data type, and we have categorized the primitive and non-primitive. Boolean. Okay. So Boolean. Numeric, we have some kind of characters and characters, and integer we have float and integer. So in the integer we have byte, short, length, okay, int, float, double. So these are the data types which are already defined by the Java developers. And why these many? Okay, why these many means? We real time, okay, we used to use in real time, these are the data types in general. Based on the size, so you can choose when to use that. Okay, so when to use that, right? So the types and the default types are displayed. Yeah. So here data type and default value and default size. Okay. So you see that Boolean is the data type. Okay. So first one is that we are going to learn Boolean is the data type, and it has only true or false. By default, it is a false. Either it can represent a true, and the size is 1 bit. And there is a character data type. You can store a single character, and the default type /u four O's, and it is a 2 byte, the default size. And also we have a byte. Okay, so 0 by default, 0 default. These are the defaults, default values. Okay, these are the size. Okay, so based on the size, we can choose for the which type you want, because as we saw the diagram, so these are the all one numeric type. Okay, so you can read it. Byte, short, int, long. So all of them are in same integer level, but so the size would be different based on the size. So you can decide based on your data size you want to store, and then you can decide which can be used your requirement, which can satisfy the requirement. Okay, yeah. So there are doubles and float, which can represent a kind of decimal data types. Okay. Yes. Yeah, and there are non-primitive. So I'm not talking about right now. So let me take it in the next session, because with respect to Java and string arrays advanced concept, so later we can do it. Okay. Yes. So now coming back to that particular Java, the next section behavior. So where we are. So we are good about these properties and behavior. We'll create a one example. Don't bother about. Let's see that what and all the behaviors. So behaviors. So as I mentioned, grades, right, and the marks. Okay. So here we have a kind of behaviors. So in terms of like kind of Java language, so we call it the functions. Okay, functions. So function and behavior both are same. So function in the sense there are some kind of statements. Okay, so you have a few statement which can perform a single task. Okay, single task. Okay, so in Java language, okay, in Java language, every line called as a statement. Okay, every line. For example, this class contain these many lines, and every line has one statement. Okay, within the function we have some kind of statements, so which can satisfy one criteria. It can satisfy one specific task. Okay, which can perform one specific task, something like. Okay, so now, so I will write a function example here. So public void. Okay, and my function name is the grade. Okay, so grade. So how do we define the student grades based on the marks. Okay, based on the marks. Okay, based on the marks. So you total marks. Okay, you can pass the total marks and you can define that some calculation. Okay, some statements. You can perform some averages. So average can be uh, throughout that one or two semester or all the semester. Okay, it depends. It is a kind of business logic. Okay, so let me recollect it like function in definition of Java. Okay, so there is a function. Within the function, we have some kind of statement one, statement two. Every statement we have some specific task or object or statement. Okay, to calculating a grade of student, to calculating a, to defining a to outcome of this function is calculating a grade of the student. Okay, he is a grade one or like the first. Okay, the first student or grade one student, grade two student. Okay, there could be some kind of criteria. So internal marks. Okay, so internal marks also depends. Okay, so then the grade will be changed, right? The total marks with respect to objective and practical. So the kind of logic will be define the kind of different kind of behaviors, different kind of parameters which can be calculated. Okay, so it is a dynamic and it is a function that is called behavior. Behavior which can have some business logics. So business logics, right? Right. Clear? So till now, which I covered, right? Let me recap. So there is a student class. In the student class, we can declare some properties where based on the type. We have data types. So please go through the detail of data type. Tomorrow I'll ask some questions on that. Okay. So the next session, and we can declare the data type based on the data which you selected. Okay, and based on the type, there could be a size. Okay, usage, default values, all those things. And then the next section is the behavior. So behavior contains we can represent in Java is a function, and the function which can have some logic. So every function has some perform one specific task to have some collection of statement to be executed for the specific task. Okay. Yes. Yeah. This is about kind of thing. Now let me create a one student object and let's see that object creation part as well. Okay. Let me create a class. What is our class name? Yeah. Yeah. How to create a class? So you can right click class name. You can provide a student. Yes.
So, Nagesh, are we
So
doing this or we are just watching? I mean, simultaneously we should do it.
yeah, you can do it. This section you can do it. Yeah. Please, everyone, you can create a student section quickly. Properties. Yeah, I'll give some time as well. No problem. Properties and behaviors. Can you perform this action parallelly? No problem. Okay. So, and also I'll explain. So I'm declaring. So here, just a second. So before going to do that, so here I told you type, right? So type. Okay, data type. So here the syntax is this one. Okay, so you can declare data type. Okay, data type and followed by a variable name. What is the variable name? I'm going to explain now. Okay, so variables are the containers. Okay, containers for storing the data value. Okay, so variables in Java, right? So those are the container for storing a data values. Okay, you can also like call it as a memory location name. Okay, memory location name. Okay, so that kind of memory location name. For example, so in a common Example, int. Int is a data type. Okay, age is a variable. I can hold age is like a 35, something like. Okay, so what is a data type? Int is a data type, and a variable, right? This variable is a age. So these variables are in Java containers for storing the data value. What is the data value here? 35. 35 is data value. In a general point of view, okay, it is a memory location in that JVM, okay, Java memory location in runtime. It allocates some value to store in the age. There is a kind of memory, okay, and with respect to that age is holding 35, something like that. Okay. So first is a data type, the kind of data that can hold. For example, we already saw it, int, float, character, boolean, and variable name is to identify the variable uniquely with the specific scope. Okay, it is a age. Age based on the age is the type, int type. Okay, value is the data is assigned to the variable. So 35 is assigned to the age. So that is the way it will be. Okay. So yes, yeah, yes, age, student age, and student name. So it is a string format. Its name, and yeah, please can recreate it. No problem. String and this is address, student address.
So we are doing this in IntelliJ, right, Nagesh? I got
Yes.
a basic
Yeah.
question just to double check.
Yeah. Yeah, it is in IntelliJ only. Yeah. You see, this is a IJ is IntelliJ. Let it be in IntelliJ. Yeah, we are doing it. So yesterday we created one project, right? So in
Correct.
that project you can create a under the test Java. So you can create a one student class name. There
Okay.
you can write it. Okay. So str address and the string str phone number. Phone number is my integer format. Okay. So it is a int type. I can declare 939. Okay. So next is like I want to declare a character type. So section is class section. And also I'm following some notation. You have to follow as well. Observe that one as well. Okay. So the first letter of variable and second letter of variable, some camel case. Okay. Small and capital. So see class section. So class section, something like. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So let me tell you that there is a one kind of shortcut for generating this keyword. Like we every time we used to use a system.out.println. Okay, in our tutorial. Okay, so there is a shortcut. So actually we have to write system.out.println. It is kind of a time system. Okay, so to do that, SOUT type it. The IntelliJ you will give the suggestion list. The first one which you enter. Okay, so there is a logic for calculation of grade. Okay, so this is the kind of so what we discussed. So every class in Java, okay, every class in Java, the thing is there is an object, it contain properties and it contain behaviors. So here in our real time, what which we draw that diagram, right? Let me compare and where are these? Okay, so this is our exact diagram. So which I explained the first in this session. Okay, so the class name, student, and this is a variable section which we declare the variable section as the properties. And there is a behavior section, so it is a method, and it will be there here, methods. Okay, so like that, going forward, you can see that constructor and the main method, all those things. Okay, yeah. Let me add a main method now. Okay, let me add a main method. So why? What is the main method? Why? I will explain now. Okay. So suppose right now we have written the statement. Okay, written the student information. So I want to run this class. Okay. In every Java, okay. So every Java you need to execute the a class. You need to execute. You can perform or you can run this code. So we required a by default method. It is a main method. Okay. So the main method is given by Java developers. So you want to start your program, execute your program. Okay, main method. So for this also you have a shortcut because it is a lengthy method. So just to type a small main, and you can have a suggestion. Just click enter. So then you can see that main method, public static void main string arg. Okay, so this is a task I'm giving to you. So please explore this method in the Google. What is this method? Why it required? Okay, so the basic fundamental thing I will tell you. So you can explore and get some key points. So basically, as of now, you can remember this method is a predefined method, which is given by the Java developer. Okay, so when any program you need to execute by using main method only. Whatever the declaration, whatever the code. Okay, so in line of statement. Okay, line of statement one, statement two, statement three. So this from here the execution will start. Okay, so even though this class contain the first line is the fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. Okay, these many line of code is there, but JVM or Java runtime machine, which will look for the main method is there or not. Within the main method, how you are going to drive your execution, how you are drive your execution, how you define to run your program. Okay, so from here it will be started. Okay, so let me do that some print statement and you will get to know my main method start executing. Now see that this is the line of statement which will be executed. Yeah. Now, yeah, today I'm going very like kind of basic, but then next session onwards I'll take. But this is it is very much required. You see, integer number too large. Okay, so this is a kind of type error. Okay, so there is a kind of intentionally I give. So this is a size issue. Okay, so boss there is a int size is defined, but even though you given out of the size, integer number is too large. If you want to, okay, if you want to too large data, then we can store it, but there is a different format. Okay, let me check that. So here you can see there is a kind of length format. Okay, you can read this tutorial. It is a good tutorial. I can refer to like go through that. No problem. Each and every statement is very useful, and it is a self-explanatory. Okay, so there is a int. Okay, so there is a int. I think here is a there. Okay, default size. Okay, so this is a length. Behind the length, I declare the data. So 214748 something. But even though I want to store, then you can jump onto the next data, long data. See 92237 something blah blah. Okay, so then you can decide that okay, it is not it is not fitting under the int in the sense there is a higher level. You can change the you can change to data type or change to your value. Just I'm changing back to the value. Okay, so let me run this. Now the main method will be executed. Okay, let me stop this guy. Some errors. So this is the area where you can see the console. Okay, so once you run this one, the console output will appear here. So you can read that. Okay, my main start executing. Okay, my main method is start executing. Okay, so then here now the story will begins for object creation. So till now we described, okay, we describe about the object in a class level. Okay, so there is a student object. We will represent or we blueprint that about the object, but we need to use this object in real time. Okay, so I want the student grades. number of student grade based on the business logic. I want to get it. So I want to get it. So what I need to do is I need to create an object. Okay, I need to create an object. Creating an object. Okay, creating an object of this class. Okay, so here this object creation. The syntax, as of now, it is a syntax. The line you have to remember. The later part I will explain in detail. Okay, the syntax is class name. Okay, and followed by object reference, obj reference. You can give any name. Okay, and there is a new keyword followed by class name, and open close parenthesis semicolon. This is a syntax. So as we know, class name you can put it. New is a keyword, Java keyword to create object. So based on the syntax, I can represent the object of student object. How do you create student class name? Class name is student, and I'm giving a object reference as a small student, new keyword, and there is a student class name. Okay, so student class name. So this is the way we can create an object of the student. Okay, so then by using the object reference, you can call this method. You can access these variables. Okay, you can call this properties. You can call this behavior by using object reference. So once you create an object of the particular class and that class object reference, by using the object reference, I can call this method. So it is a fundamental rule here. So I'll tell you where we are using also. So where is the grade? Okay, so the total number of marks, suppose it is integer 98 out of 100. Okay, so now this particular method inside the logic will be executed, which means the method is called. Yes, you see, logic for calculation of grade. So this method is executed. Okay, so let me print that above variable, that name. Okay, using object reference. What is the object reference? Small student dot yes name. Okay, its name is Shastra. So let me run this one. So yes, so method is called, variable also get printed. Okay, right. So now I'll tell you some backend story for this. So when you done this particular statement, okay, when you declare this statement, what will happen? Okay, so think that whenever not only this class which I'm going to explain, so every class when this statement is there, and this is the way it will be created. Okay, so in the Java JVM, Java memory location, allocated in memory.
Sorry, Nagesh, can you explain the statement? What is how you declare the student equal to new student, and the capital student, and the this? What is the difference between these two?
Okay, so as of now, just remember that class name followed by class name. That's it. So the second session, I'll tell you what exactly this one. Okay, so as of now, I told you, right? In today's session, you have to remember. So class name is the syntax. You can put S also here. Okay, so object can be anything. Okay, it can be S1 also. It depends. But in this case, I gave that meaningful name. Okay, it is a student object. I can keep the small student. Okay, I can provide OBJ also. So OBJ reference. Then after I would change when calling the reference, because by using the reference only I call it. Okay. Then after, so you may confuse about this one. So that I'm going to explain. So this new keyword, whenever you perform a new keyword, so there is a memory allocation is created. Okay, in the JVM, the memory allocation is created and this particular reference is allocated. So what and all we have in this memory allocation, I'm going to explain. Right? Yeah. So the first of all, whenever you created this particular statement, student obj reference equal to new student, this new keyword is a object creation keyword. New keyword is a reference for object creation. So when you have a new keyword in Java, we will create some kind of JVM runtime memory allocation while executing this particular student program. Okay, the student object is going to create. So then what and all we have variables you declared. Okay, so yes name, yes age. Okay, the assigned values are default values. So right now we assign 35. 35 will come here. So all the data will be loaded in that memory location, not in the class level. There are two levels we have. Right now it is a memory location level. I am explaining the memory level, object level. This is object level. Okay, so don't confuse. You have to remember this way only. In the next session, you will get clarified. So what I mean to say is, all the declaration you have done with respect to the object level, it comes, and also this particular method also will become. Then only we are using how we are using. So let me show you again here. Student obj reference equal to new student of. Basically, if you know Java, I'll tell you that this is a constructor. Okay, so whoever knows that basic constructor level, so they can understand. But what is the constructor? Tomorrow I will explain the next session. So that is the case. I'm telling you. You just remember class name, object reference equal to new keyword, class name, and open close parenthesis followed by semicolon. Okay, actually it is a constructor. This new followed by this function is a constructor. What is a constructor? Then select. Okay. So whenever this particular statement, not only this kind of thing, any class, okay, this will be replicated. This car class, okay, car obj reference equal to new car of our bracket, okay, parenthesis and close semicolon. Student, okay, pen object also. We can create any object by using this syntax only. So by using the reference variable, which will be assigned, okay. So then automatically I told you, right, all this related data info will be allocated here. Will be relocate in the sense it stores in that JVM. JVM in the Java Virtual Machine. Okay. So this also it will be there. That is the reason when you call a grade method, we are calling by using obj reference because the object we are referring here, we are pointed to here in the JVM, and what and all there in that we will access it. Okay, so that is the case obj ref dot grade method. So you have any n number of method, you can call n number of grade. Okay, so the 10 and obj dot you can refer s name, s address, anything. So just I will access address or phone number. Yes, phone number. So this is the way we can access our data of this particular object. So why we need to create, why we need to follow? So there is a kind of situation. Okay. So what is the situation in the sense? Don't confuse again. So I'm going to the next level. So if you are not at all understand, let me know. So single object creation. Okay. So I'm going to, we can create a set of like n number of objects for this class. Okay. So whenever the fundamental rule is whenever you create an object, so you have to follow the syntax class name object reference equal to new class name, open close parenthesis semicolon. Okay. But later point of time, I will revert this word to a constructor. Okay. Constructor. Okay. So whenever we do that, so all the instance, okay, there are kind of some set of rules are there. I'm going to explain that later point of time. But as of now, all the values, okay, all the values in the sense, yeah, let me write it here. Age, yes age, right? Yes age. What is the S age is 35. Yes name. Yes name. Okay. So what is the name? Yeah. Shastra. And what is that ES address? Okay, S address. That's right. Okay, suppose let's think that there is a one variable enter and admission here. Admission here. So I did not assign the value. Okay, think that. So I did not assign. So that is the case. I told you that default value. What is the default value? If it does not assign the value, the default value will come admission number here 0. So from where I return this one. So because of that Java is defined. There is some data type. If your user is not defined default value or not define anything, automatically Java will allocate default value. Okay, Java will restore the default value when the object is creation, while object creation time. Okay, while object creation time. Right. So that is the reason in technically constructor. What is a constructor? Constructor which will initialize the values. So I'm not going to depth because it will confuse again. So that is the case. So today you have to remember like this only. You will get to know that. I'll push that one by one in your mind. Okay. Yes. So all these things will be loaded here and with respect to this object. Okay. So let me I got one more object to be created. So student and student 2 object. Okay. And student. This time the student have marks grade. He has marks like 100. Okay. Yeah. So this time again JVM which will create another object memory. Okay. Java and which will assign this value based on this student object. All these values will come here. Okay. But what is the different here? Different is, see, the default values are same. Okay, but marks are different. So you see the first student object, he got a 10 marks total. Based on the 10, this business logic which will be calculate the grade. And this second student object has a marks as a 100. He will get 100%. Okay, accurate. So he will get so lower grade, right? So that is the idea and the way which will be differ from object to object. Okay. So Venkat, this is a kind of real-time explanation here. So you have to think that, see, so we have suppose another student got a grade 50. So we need to create an object. Okay. So there is another student, student S3, and he performed, got a create a student and S3 dot grade and 50% marks. Based on that, grade is different. This time also separate memory will be created and all the default values will be assigned and the runtime total marks will be passed and based on the business logic, the student will give the result. Okay. So you see that we have a real-time object only student, but how many students objects we are creating? So n number of students. How many students which contain a specific class? Those when number of objects will be generated in the runtime. Okay. Yes. I hope clear, right? Yes. Any questions? Please let me know. I will stop 2 minutes. Anyone can raise the questions.
Nagesh, when you created student 1, student 2, that all will come under main. So we are calling student 1, student 2 out of the main class.
Yes, yeah. So within the main class only we can perform. Yes.
Okay.
So within the main class only we can perform. Suppose student 1 S1. So then we can call yes. So S1 object is like 100 and this guy is 10, and there is one more object I'm going to create. So S2 50% marks and a name. So what we are our requirement is create an object, get the grade, print the name of the student. Second object, okay, S1 object, second object, get the grade based on the marks, print the name. Okay, something like so that is the case. Okay,
Thank you.
we can create n number of objects. So that is the reason, right? Object oriented programming language. Purely the Java is a purely object oriented programming. Okay, banks, customers, all those things we need to think that okay, properties, behavior. Once you define the one customer, see in the bank level, what they will do? One account, okay, account number, account holder. Okay, one object is there, but the fundamental rule is every account holder has some set of properties, set of behaviors. Okay, again it will be change the behavior. How? Based on that the transactions, based on that locations. Okay, the object can be vary, the object behavior can be vary, but object is same thing like a common object. Student common, employee is common, but the vary from the behavior based on the by default properties, runtime properties. Okay, so that is the case. Okay. Yeah. So yes, so all of them clear, right? So let me I will compare Selenium point also. Okay. So just I will give you some generic story. Okay, about how the Selenium framework has been developed. Okay. First of all, everybody can understand this one, right? The student related. Okay. If I give this code, okay, if I give this code or this code is reusable. Okay, so let me take you a kind of layman way. Okay, so this code is a common code. Okay, I told you, so you can use, I have written a kind of business logic to calculate the grade. What do you need to follow? What do you need to send the value? Only the total marks. This business logic which can derive that result, the student grade. Result is student grade. Okay, based on the marks, there is a calculation has been done, and the result is A grade, B grade, C grade. That's it. Okay, then what you will do? You will just simply don't recreate it. So just you can utilize this code, just creating an object only. Okay, in your place, okay, you will create an object of this class. Okay, how do you create an object? Student. I told you that there is a student class is there, and create a student object. Okay, and then you can utilize that method called grade. Okay, based on the grade, you can pass the value of marks like 80. Then you will get that result is A grade. So by the way, you can create n number of objects. Right, the code is, suppose if I build this code generally in Java point of view, this code will be built a jar file. This is a class file. It will be converted and compiled and built to a jar file. And I will give this jar file to you attached to your build directory to your project and just create these 2 lines of code. Please remember that only this kind of 2 lines of code you are going to create and utilize this business logic. That's it. You got this point, right? Any confusion on that? So let me recap or explain to better understanding. Okay, so I created this kind of one business logic of student to calculating a grade function. Okay, and I compile this code. I build that there is a jar file, and I share to you. In your place, you attached in this project or your project. and you are just going to create an object of this class. Student, yes, equal to new student. And there is a, I explained you, okay, there is a grade class. You just pass the math, that marks, then you will get grade. Okay, suppose you pass 90, you will get grade. So if you pass grade, like the total marks is 20, you will pass like E grade or T grade. That would be result. Okay, so you are not at all writing my code. You cannot read it. Okay, you cannot write again student class, student properties, student behavior. All this is nothing. Clear? Yes. Similarly, the Webdriver also, okay, the Webdriver, who developed the Selenium community persons. Okay, Selenium Webdriver developers, they develop a set of classes. Okay, many classes. Okay, set of in the sense many classes, set of classes, and inside the set of classes, set of behaviors or methods already they defined. Okay, just what we are doing, we are utilizing creating a object and calling the particular method, calling the methods. Okay, so they given the jar file. Okay, they given the component, given the jar file, that is we are taking from Maven dependency. We are taking from Maven dependency. So that Maven dependency is, then we are creating yesterday, like in the first session, right? So what statement we have written? Webdriver, small driver equal to new, so Chrome driver. This is the statement which we have written in the yesterday. And the driver dot get, what is that? Get URL, get method, and we provided some website name. Okay, any website. So what does mean is, so there is a Chrome driver class is already defined by the Selenium, and this statement, when this particular statement execution time, it will create a launch a browser, and that browser which will be method is load the particular given URL. What are the URL you provided, that will be loaded. So which means how the grade logic has been written. Similarly, the get URL logic has been, they already taken care. Just we are recalling. Okay, so that is the reason Webdriver is a automation framework project. What we need to do? We need to learn the creating an object, how we can create an object, how we can call the reusable methods on that project. That's it. What are all the methods? We come to know. Get method, send key method, find element. Those are many methods. I think 100 methods, 100 plus method. But you can remember only 100 methods is fair enough. From where we can read it, how we can read it, I will explain. Don't bother about it. Okay. Yes. Any questions till now? Just I will take you to the site from where you have to learn. Yes. So go to Webdriver API, Selenium Webdriver API. So, and like before going to that, so I know this code is readable. Okay, that is the reason I explained you. Okay, you just create a student class and there is a behavior method. Just to create an object and call it. But Selenium Webdriver project is a bunch of many classes, many methods, right? So any a specific project is created. So there is a Java documentation is there. So that is called programming interface. So we call as a Java documentation. Okay. So the documentation contains the number of name of the classes, some methods, what is the description, all those things will be there.